Hello there. My name is Maureen with my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with 2 E's. Today, better grab that crystal skull and put it on a tall alien skeleton. Well, they're not aliens, though.
No.
They're not aliens.
No aliens.
As always, I'm accompanied with my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
Blind.
You're blind. You can't see.
That's better.
You can see now.
Yes.
As always, you can find us on our YouTube channel, The Real Show, at Twitter or X.
Yep.
I'm gonna shoot myself in the
It's
face.
X now.
On Twitter at The Real Show FM.
I didn't even realise that was happening, so I went on Twitter one day.
And no, you're not. I am, unfortunately. Or you can find us on our podcasting apps or any audio platform. Hello. Today we are rounding off the Indiana Jones tetralogy, the 4.
Correct.
We're coming out to you in a couple of weeks with something a little bit special, but we're doing the Indiana Jones tetralogy, finishing it with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Me and Corey both watched this film.
Yes.
And now we're here to review it with you. Obviously, spoilers for a film that came out in 2008. A little bit of background first, if you'd like, Corey.
Go on.
Now, as you saw, 2008 wasn't the last time an Indiana Jones film was made.
No,
The Last Crusade obviously rounded out the trilogy of Indiana Jones films. And since then, there was a lot of comics and video games, very good video games, and that continued the story of Indiana Jones. But 2008 was when the franchise got reinvigorated.
Correct.
It shot up with life. It became actually true that in 1979, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg had a contractual deal with Paramount for a 5 Indiana Jones picture series.
Oh.
And following the 1989 release of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lucas let the series end as he felt he couldn't think of a plot device to drive the next installment. So we just decided to stop. He chose instead to produce the prequel television series, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, if you're familiar with this.
Nice, I'm not.
That ran with 3 versions of Indiana Jones. A young version, a super old version, like a future Indiana Jones, and a sort of middle of the road kind of adolescent version, right? Basically, any way they couldn't get Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He said that Harrison Ford expressed feelings that while he was uncertain on if Indiana Jones' character had been fully explored or not, he had the impression that Last Crusade would be the final Indiana Jones film, and that he enjoyed playing Jones, but he thought a trilogy was enough. And as Young Indy aired, Ford only played Jones in 1 episode, narrating his adventure in 1920 Chicago and 1950 Wyoming.
Okay.
And from there, it came to, there was the such B movies as Things from Another World, Came from Outer Space, and them in 1954 would give the film genre a whole new meaning to play with and add a bit of texture to the story, giving the film use of extraterrestrials. Meanwhile, Spielberg believed that he was going to mature as a filmmaker after making the trilogy and felt his role in any future installments should be relegated to that of a mere producer and not to direct. So and also, I think Steven Spielberg was sick of doing aliens at this point. Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T.
Yeah.
He's done with it. 1982, done with it. But George Lucas managed to rope him back in for another installment if there was a believable enough MacGuffin with an archaeological or historical background. So they turned to the Mayans and the Aztec, the kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Correct.
So, Corey,
hello.
You sat down. You're here too. You sat down and you watched this film.
Correct.
Give me your initial thoughts. What was the first time you saw it? Did you see it in 2008?
No, I would have seen it probably mid-2010s-ish, because everyone just goes, this film's bad. And I played the Lego games, and the first one, and Crystal Skull's not in it. And I was like, oh, there's a 4th one. I was like, that's not in the game, there's a 4th one. And everyone's like, yeah, he sits in the fridge and survives a nuke. And I'm thinking, that's a bit far. So I watched it, and I wasn't the biggest fan. And then, obviously, we're doing it now. So I already had something going into this, a preconceived idea. And I'd watch other people's reactions, because I think, maybe it's not as bad. Maybe I'm missing something here. But it seems to be that that's not the case.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Go on.
This film, I watched it very early, probably 2009, 2010,
Okay.
DVD, whatever.
Yep.
Right? Remember what DVD is? For me. DVD, whatever, right?
Yep.
I watched it and it went completely off my head. Didn't even register. I know it was probably my first Indiana Jones film. I know that sounds like sacrilege, but I just didn't even register. Like, whatever, it's a film about a guy who wears a hat and a nuke and a whip and an alien. Okay. Now I watched it back with a bit of a clearer head. I think it gets a bit of a bad rap. I think as an Indiana Jones adventure, it is not good, but it is passable. It is not Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's not Temple of Doom. It's not Last Crusade. It's not even Dial of Destiny. But I think as an Indiana Jones adventure, it's low tier, but it's not bottom tier.
Yep.
Is my thoughts. It's low tier, but it's not bottom tier. There is stuff to enjoy in this film. There is stuff to have a good time with. And there's stuff that's a bit of fun. There's a bit of here and there. But I don't think... There are elements of it that kind of do contradict the Indiana Jones kind of message and whatever and the franchise. But I don't like to go all nitpicky and kind of pick at and kind of piddle it where I don't need to.
I know. Yeah, it's... Well, I came into this thinking, well, okay, this film's awful. I watched this years ago, didn't like it, it's just dumb. I left it in a similar way of, this isn't the worst thing I've seen. And it's not as bad as I thought it was, but it's still not great. I think for me, there is also one glaring issue, which I think we're probably going to get onto at some point with this movie. There's one kind of... Well... That's not plot related or anything like that. There's one kind of issue that, for me, and we spoke about it numerous times in this show, kind of brings it down a bit. And you can tell as well, because it's a bit obvious. But it wasn't... it wasn't the worst. It's fine, I guess. It's not a good ending, though, which is the issue.
Oh, we'll touch on the ending, but we'll also touch on... Let's talk about a bit of the cast, first of all. Who we like in this film, who's turned up in this film. Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, he's back.
He is indeed.
He's amazing. He's 64 years old, but he's running around, he's jumping, he is working with the whip, he's working all the stunts, he performed many of his own stunts because he believed that stunt technology had become, safer since 1989, and he also felt it improved his performance. He's got a quote that's saying, anytime that I'm doing a stunt, I want my face to be in the camera, so you know it's me. Right,
yeah.
That might have changed since the start of Destiny because I've got thoughts on that. But when a guy gets to that age and he still packs that same punch, but there's a bit where in the start where they're in that secret American military base facility where there's loads of boxers, and you see him climbing up those boxers. You think, wow, he's really still, he's jumping and hopping up and stuff. He does like a at the start he does like a base jump.
Yeah,
up
he does.
To the first one, he goes like whoa right up, and you're thinking, wow, he can still run and climb and jump up. Maybe he's just going to be breathing a little bit heavier at the end. He's just like, takes it at you. But have some fun with it. Don't hide that.
Yeah.
And it's not really the years; it's the mileage, isn't it?
Yes.
And he thought we could. There's the difference between Harrison Ford, but I feel like he's aged now. He's a bit of he's the mature kind of. He's not like I'm getting too old for this kind of thing, but he didn't dye his hair for the role.
No, he didn't.
He felt like this could be kind of a hit back at the American piece of, Americans are quite paranoid about it, the aging process.
Yes.
But Harrison Ford was like, I'll stand up about that. I want some more jokes about my age, like, you better catch up, old man. You're doing old man. But he's like, I'm still old, but I couldn't get the best of you, kid, Sonny. You're not going to wear my hat yet.
That's exactly how it went.
Exactly how it went. Just like that.
Exactly how that scene went.
Who else do we have? Well, actually, before we go on to anyone else, what do you think of Harrison Ford? Love him. I can't get tired of the man.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think he's amazing.
Especially for his age. I mean, even we'll get onto it in the next couple of weeks.
He's kicking butt. He's great. Who else do we have in this film? Next, we've got the amazing Cate Blanchett.
Correct.
Who can top a Cate Blanchett performance? Nobody, except maybe Harrison Ford. But Cate Blanchett does really, really well. There's a bit of a chemistry, especially in the start where Indiana's not working with them, but he's trying to accomplish his goals while they're trying to accomplish their goals, but their goals happen to be the same thing. So when they're kind of working together, there's a little bit of a chemistry between Blanchett and Ford, which is nice. As she's Ilyana Spalko, the Soviet doctor and agent, and it's good to have that love-hate relationship with them, as Indiana Jones has with every woman he ever comes in contact with.
Yep.
Blanchett wanted to play a villain for a couple of years, and she enjoyed the Indiana Jones legacy. She loves the previous films, and get into it with her being that sort of. She can become anyone, Kate Blanchett. She's like a real chameleon of an actress, and it's great to see her perform in this role. What do you think?
There's a bit of trivia that backs up your claim.
Oh right, okay, go on then.
A little bit of trivia. Do you remember the jingle? You don't.
I don't remember. Well, no, sometimes I think we like to come up with like a parody.
Yeah.
It's Corey and the Kingdom of the Crystal Trivia. It's trivia time with Corey. Da-da-da-da-da.
That's good film, bad review.
That is. Okay. That is a good film, bad review. We've taken that jingle and we've put it to trivia time with Corey.
Drift it in this instead.
Drift it in there. Just get it out. We don't need to do that anymore. Just get it in there.
Pack it in. No, it's Dingle Dangle Bobbity Boo.
Oh yeah, Dingle Dangle Bobby Boo. Trivia!
There we go.
There you go. You got to hold the A on the trivia.
Yes,
Thank you for reminding me.
So, okay.
Dingle Dangle Bobbity Boo.
Trivia!
Okay.
I don't know why I'm doing a hand movement.
You have to do the hand movement, else it doesn't work.
Like I'm on a theatre stage or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's because we're introducing the trivia.
That is true. Here it comes.
Here it comes. And...
So apparently several weeks into production, Harrison Ford saw a blonde woman on set and asked who she was. He was told it was Kate Blanchett, who he'd never seen out of costume and did not recognise her without a black wig.
Excellent. That's great. But she's such a chameleon. She could be in this room and we'd never be able to see her. She'd be anywhere. She could be anywhere. She could be that curtain.
She could be Ryan Jones.
She could be.
Waft.
Exactly. It's like the Mission Impossible mask. It's like Kate Blanchett all along. I'd never been able to tell because of her amazing acting skills.
Yeah.
Who else have we got in this? Who else have we got in this film?
Are we skipping past the obvious currently?
We're going to talk about Shia.
Yes.
Okay.
The kind of elephant in the room of this whole film.
Shia, let's just do it. Don't let our dreams be memes or whatever he says.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's Mutt Williams because that's a person name, isn't it?
I also like how he's like right at the bottom of the cast list.
He is, yeah, he's right at the bottom. No one wants to talk about him. He's Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
And that's obvious.
Yeah.
But you can't really pull off the hat. No one really pulls off the hat. Not even Marlon Brando.
No.
It's such a weird hat. I think it's such a funny little thing for someone to wear. But he's like it's the 1970s.
Yes.
And the 1960s, sorry. Not the 1970s, it's the 1960s because it's the Cold War. So, I'm gonna say, not even that, 1957.
There you go.
Sorry, it's the 50s. It's not the swinging 60s, near close to the swinging 60s. Whatever they say about the 50s, it's the fighting 50s, or whatever they say.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Yeah. So in the 50s, you got tough guys on motorcycles wearing leather jackets, and that's Mutt Williams. He's such a little punk.
Nifty
He's
50s.
Like the nifty 50s. That's incredibly 50s.
Apparently.
The nifty 50s. It's like the start of the film. What happened with those teenagers? Did they get horribly murdered or something? No, they started up. They drive in the car. They're like, "Hey, army man, you're gonna race my sweet racer."
Yeah. Like
that. And they go, "Woohoo!" And they drive off. And there's the girls in the back with the fluffy hair and whatever. What happened to those people? Did the Russians horribly murder them? I don't know. That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
They tracked them down and shot them to death.
Someone needs to ask Spielberg.
That's my headcanon. What was the meaning of that?
Hey, George Lucas, what else was
were the teenagers the Russian agents? I don't know. But no, it was real that the Americans were.
Yeah.
Back to Mutt Williams.
Yep, go on.
During development of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the idea was incorporated for Indiana and Marion Ravenwood to have a 13-year-old daughter. But then Spielberg thought it was too similar to The Lost World, because that's what happens. Ian Malcolm has a daughter, and they're similar. So they created a son instead.
Yes.
One of the screenwriters wanted to make Mutt into a nerd, but Lucas refused, saying he had to resemble Marlon Brando, because that's very George Lucas. He's got to look like this. Faster and more intense.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting choice.
Interesting choice. What do you think of him? He's like a punk. He's like oh man, I've got this, flip my knife.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is, obviously we've mentioned now, and as people would probably know, he's meant to be Indiana Jones' son.
Yes, he is.
But he doesn't know he's Indiana Jones' son.
No.
For like the whole film. until eventually because what is it? He calls her Mary or something,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, my mum's Mary," and he doesn't realise that it's.
Well, I think Indiana Jones. I think he twigs really early as soon as Marion Ravenwood's involved, and that's his mum.
Yeah, and then it's like it takes Mutt or Patney could Wikipedia Henry Jones III.
Yeah, they reveal that. They do reveal that
Because they can't think of another name in that family.
Yeah.
It's
Henry. Everyone's called Henry.
That he eventually twigs on that. Wait a minute, this is different, and it's an interesting. I feel like they tried to do what Last Crusade did and flip it, where now it's Harrison Ford the dad.
Now Harrison Ford's Sean Connery.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't quite work.
No, not really, because Shia LaBeouf, unfortunately, is not Harrison Ford.
No.
And that's a crippling
Ford,
disease.
Harrison Ford is fine compared to Sean Connery. Shia LaBeouf is not fine compared to Harrison Ford.
Exactly. Exactly right. They take very American graffiti. I suppose he can't get over it. George Lucas was the product of that time, sweet racers, sweet motorbikes, fast cars. He loves it, George. Racing, anything to do with a race, he's in it. So George Lucas wanted that American graffiti sort of, he's got slick back hair and he rides a motorcycle. Yeah. Oh, he's so cool. He manages a motorcycle halfway through.
Yeah, he does.
Doesn't really use that again.
No.
Instead, he's on a Jeep getting his crotch hit with plants and branches and whatever.
Yeah, well.
Like swinging with monkeys and sword fights and whatever. Although he said he did fencing, so that kind of covers that, I guess. But they were just using, they were just using sabers.
Yes, that's comedy for you.
There you go. That's Shia LaBeouf.
That's Shia LaBeouf.
Of course, Shia LaBeouf committed the cardinal sin of not liking this film, and not liking this film very obviously.
Yeah.
And it was felt by Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg that even if it's not the best, you shouldn't really sell it like that.
Yeah.
You've got to, play the hand you're dealt, know. You shouldn't really not like this film. You should kind of say, it's good. You've got to push the boat out a bit. And Shia wasn't about that.
No, he wasn't.
As I'm sure probably a piece of trivia might be able to tell you.
What else we got in trivia? Harrison Ford staying in shape.
Excellent.
Nice. Harrison Ford nearly got blown up.
Cool. How did that happen?
When filming a scene where Indiana drives a truck through a wall, things did not go as planned. Timed explosive were used, one did not go off and landed in the seat next to Harrison Ford.
Oh, God. What did he do? Imagine. You know what? What are you imagining?
My first instinct is you would leave, but my headcanon is now saying that Harrison Ford stayed in character with just like a bomb just next to him.
My impression is exactly that. It's like a
picks it up and just throws out the window.
Throws out the window, exactly. He's driving the car, the explosion goes off, like a stick of dynamite lands in the passenger seat, and he's like... He throws it out, and it blows up like a truck behind him.
Yeah.
Blows up a Russian truck behind him, and he keeps going with the action scene.
Also, and this is probably going to segue into the other thing, Harrison Ford was adamant that he would got to wield Indiana's favourite whip.
Signature whip, that's right.
Paramount executive wanted the weapon to be computer generated because of the new movie safety rules, but Ford branded the rule ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's a ridiculous rule. I'm going to use my whip. Let's go on to another couple of characters in this.
Go on.
The late great
John Hurt is in this.
Harold Oxley. I love John Hurt. Love him in 1984, V for Vendetta. Absolutely fantastic.
Correct.
Can't get wrong with a bit of John Hurt.
Correct.
I think he's a great addition to this world. I wish he was in more. Wish he was able to.
Yeah.
A bit out of him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Love John Hurt. Amazing.
John Hurt's fantastic.
Ray Winston. It's me, Ray Winston. I'm George McHale, British agent. I'm a double, triple agent. You don't know if I'm the bad guy or the good guy. I'm going to have a word with you, son. I want a word with you.
How much? Oh, God.
Do you like Ray Winston?
50 more,
he's an hard man. I'm an hard man.
Paragraphs of trivia. Jeez. There's always British people that appear in his films.
Oh, there's always British people. I'm a good British person.
It's always a token British
I'm
man.
an hard man. I'm going to be in it. I'm not going to let go of the whip. I am going to let go of the whip. I'm not going to stand up like a normal person and go, yeah, I want to live.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, I'm going to decide to die in this portal. I think he should have known he wasn't a double agent when he was still interested in the gold.
Yeah.
there's a portion of this film where they get up to the to the Mayan temple. They get up to the temple, and also, whose job is it to just live in the walls?
Yep.
What do you do all day when you're in the walls?
Yeah.
What do you eat? How do you go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
When it's all fun and games when you appear from a wall, like, oh, I'm a secret hidden warrior. I'm gonna bust out this wall.
Yeah.
I've been in here for how long? Months? How are you living in that wall? Unless it's kind of are they stuck in the wall? Are they like animated? I don't know.
What else we got?
And the MacGuffin of this film is, of course, the Crystal Skull.
Correct. This
Big-
is the thing.
Big skull. Don't stare into its eyes. You'll get a vision.
Yeah, it's what he wants. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and Iriana Spalko's whole thing is she's like a mentalist or something.
Yep.
She's like a psychologist. And she wants to use the power of the Crystal Skull to learn more knowledge and see more amazing knowledge and sights and whatever.
Yes.
But then she gets Supreme Leader Snoke is like, no, that's not going to happen, and completely blitzes her. Should we talk about the elephant in the room?
Go on.
It's like a big alien spaceship, but
Yeah.
it's not an interdimensional beings. We look at the interdimensional
Yep.
beings. This is kind of topical as we're doing this today.
True.
As we're recording this about a week ago, there was a White House press hearing in this month that basically stated that, hey, aliens are real.
Yeah.
Or that the United States government have partially constructed or fully constructed alien spacecrafts. Or whatever you call them. UAPs are they called now?
Yeah. Wow. This is a
Unidentified aerial phenomena is the new
This
name.
is a short. Actually, it's not that short, but a wiki fandom page. But it's still short.
For what? Interdimensional beings? Okay, what can you tell me about the interdimensional beings called?
So, treasure guarding.
Okay.
Knowledge.
Right.
Location: Temple of Akator.
Yeah, true.
Status: gone to a different dimension. History: they're not from space, but from space between spaces.
That's true.
They
travel different dimensions.
Yeah. There's the Crystal Skull.
Mm-hmm.
There's the alien with the Crystal Skull.
Mm-hmm.
George Lucas had little involvement with most LucasArts projects. There's Horn Beings of Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
What?
It's a comic, apparently.
Oh, avast, Indiana! The fate of Atlantis.
We can't get past that, apparently.
No, we can't. That's got to appear in every single thing now.
Yeah. I'm going to assume the Horn Beings of Atlantis are probably also interdimensional beings.
Are they? Do they look like? What do they look like?
They are like orcs,
Oh,
weirdly.
weird.
Green face, like snorted up nose, fang teeth, horns.
Oh. They're not like
orcs.
thin, like the aliens in say
No, they
interdimensional beings in Crystal Skull.
No, they're wearing armor as
Different
well.
species, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just, a different type of interdimensional being. I
Yeah.
don't know. Fate of Atlanta. Come on, that sounds cool. Might have to do something with that. Do something with that later on.
That.
But of course, the interdimensional beings don't like anyone messing with their knowledge.
No.
So they see Iriana Spalko and they give her the squint of death that burns her face and burns her entire body and puffs her away.
I'd say it's a comic.
Speaking of
Yes, it is a comic.
the burning of the face,
It's also a game.
but it's really?
And the Fate of Atlantis, yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, there was loads of stuff before. I was looking at something called like Tomb of the Emperor or something. I'm about to say Emperor of the Tomb. Tomb of the Emperor or something. That's also a video game. It's like a point and click.
Yeah.
And there was like a whole series of these.
Fate of Atlantis, I believe, is also from looking at pictures, it's a point and click.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's the same series.
Yeah.
There was like 3 or 4 of them, and that's what I was talking about because it was made before Crystal Skull, but after the trilogy.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of in the middle.
It's got its own poster. Very nice.
Excellent.
Look
up. See if you can.
2009.
Tomb of the Emperor. Oh, that's after.
Yeah.
That's after Crystal Skull. Point and clicks were around in 2009.
Apparently so. And not
Wow.
anywhere. It looks
What are
okay.
the graphics like?
Like 8-bit, like 16-bit. It looks
really?
It looks old school.
In 2009?
Yeah.
That can't be right. You cannot have an 8-bit in 2009. Come on.
Ah,
It's like PS2.
sorry, no. It was released originally in '92,
Oh yeah.
and then it was re-released in 2009.
That's believable.
For the Wii.
For the Wii, you play it on your Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, you can get it on Steam now
Oh, cool.
and stuff like
I'll
that.
have to do a playthrough.
Fate of Atlantis. Weirdly, the
Look up Tomb
poster.
of the Emperor of the Tomb.
Emperor of the Tomb.
The Tomb of the Emperor. Because I found that. I was trying to look up games that came out after Last Crusade but before Crystal Skull.
Indiana Jones.
I was trying to look at other Indiana Jones media because there's not much on the franchise, really.
Here we go. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Doom.
Emperor's Tomb. Is it the same? I think it's the same series as
Fate
of
released. This was released later. This was
Okay.
released in 2003.
Mm.
I believe it is. Yes. It takes place in 1935. It's
cool.
a city before.
It's before everything. It's before
It's before Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. It's a prequel.
Yeah. Yep, and they can get right on Steam as well.
And there's so much invested in for this, but this film does do stuff with the world. Not only does it do the interdimensional beings, it does Hangar 51,
Yes.
which is where the Ark of the Covenant is.
Yeah.
Because they show us that. It's where all the Americans keep all their sort of archaeological finds and big, massive weapons of supernatural power,
Yeah.
including alien skeletons. They take the alien skeleton because it lives in the mothership of the interdimensional beings, where all the skeletons are, and there's all the one, but they're all in one body, but they're different skeletons.
Yes.
How does that work? Alien magic.
Yeah, pretty much. It's aliens, isn't it?
Aliens in it. So they believe that the skulls are an origin from the mythical city of Akator, which is kind of like El Dorado.
Yeah.
I mention it as kind of. I say that because there was you spoke about El Dorado a couple of episodes
Correct.
ago, when we did Temple of Doom, I think. The Akator was meant to be, that sort of El Dorado, City of Gold type place, where there's all the, deadly forces and people with spears, people with blowpipes.
Yep.
That bit where Indiana Jones blows the blowpipe back into. Yeah, but how would that work?
It wouldn't.
It's got a.
The poison wouldn't be on the other side, yeah.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Unless the guy aimed his
Unless
his blowpipe incorrectly.
Unless what it might be, if he would blow it, if he like swallows it, if he would, because it would go back in his throat.
Yeah, but you saw the point go to the back of
Yeah,
his
you
throat.
did.
You saw it go. That's the noise it made.
Yeah.
You saw it go to the back of his throat, the point of the poison. So surely he loaded his blowpipe incorrectly. He was holding it the wrong way. He was holding it the wrong way, and Indiana Jones saw that and thought, I'll just blow it back. I mean, yeah, it's a cool visual and all,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of little things like that kind of.
Maybe back in, I don't know, back in whatever they were.
I said I wasn't going to nitpick it.
Yeah, I know.
I said hypocritical behaviour here. Good old Jim Broadbent turns up in this film.
He does.
Because we have two major character deaths. Marcus Brody, as Denholm Elliott, passed away in 1992.
Yep.
And Sean Connery. Unfortunately, Sean Connery doesn't appear in this film.
No.
He hadn't passed away yet. He was still alive, but he was just enjoying retirement too much.
Yes.
He was like, I'm having too good of a time.
He was asked to be in this film, decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Also, according to trivia, so was John Rhys Davies.
And Harrison Ford said, "I'm old enough to play my own father in this one, so I'm not gonna have my dad."
John Rhys Davies was apparently also supposed to be in the wedding scene, but turned it down. Apparently, he said it's similar because I think Spielberg said later on he was glad that Henry Jones Sr. didn't turn up because people would be disappointed he wouldn't be part of it.
Yeah, he won't be coming along for the
That's
adventure.
essentially also why John Rhys Davies didn't turn up, because he'd be like, I'm not going to be a part of the thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I need to be in the adventure
Yeah.
to, I'm not gonna be up here.
Yeah.
They'll think, why wasn't Salah there?
Exactly.
And of course, they decided to say that, but there was a slight thing with, and again, I'm going to start nitpicking again, but there was the level of the way that Henry Jones Sr. isn't in this film. It's because he passed away, but there was something of he drank the elixir of life.
Yes.
From the
Yes.
From the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
How would he have died?
So I
Unless he
believe
got hit by a truck or something.
we briefly spoke about this last time.
It doesn't work if you leave
If you cross the seal, it doesn't work.
you're back to your regular life.
Yes, you have to stay in that area, stay in that place. Here's a question: is that knight still down there?
No, I don't think he is.
Okay.
Because he took the Grail. The Grail was taken.
It was taken.
So how
yeah.
would he be able to live without the Grail?
Yeah, but it's just underground now, isn't it? Because it got dropped into the whole bit when it collapsed.
Yeah, but he's not gonna be able to go down there and get it.
No,
It's
but
still up there.
it's still in the area.
Unless there's another Grail, but then there's not. I think that night's done for.
Probably.
Personally.
I mean, you would hope so, wouldn't you, for a sec?
Yeah, of course. He's been down there too long.
Yeah.
In one room, no
Just sat
entertainment,
there.
nothing. Just sat there the whole
Yeah.
time, waiting for someone to come on from 300 years.
Yeah. Just twiddling your thumbs.
Twiddling your thumbs, get your sword out, whatever. And also another actor, Michael Sheard, who played Adolf Hitler in Last Crusade, apparently expressed interest to appear in the fourth film, but he passed away in 2005.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, probably would have been. No.
Also, you can't really have Hitler in this film because obviously Hitler would have died by 1957. Sorry. So you can't even appear in this.
Yeah.
Unless you have Michael Sheard play someone else.
Like I say, go with someone else.
Play someone else. Play Admiral Ozzel.
I have him wear like a hood, like a little.
A hood?
Like a cow, just to hide his face.
A cowl. Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Hooded figure. You could voice the alien or something.
There you go.
You know. There's there's also a deal of other kind of big characters or character actors that appear in this. Joel Stouffer and Neil Flynn are in this, who you might know from Scrubs and like American sitcoms.
Yeah.
The Middle, if you ever watched that. Neil Flynn, he's the dad in that.
Okay.
And also Alan Dale, Australia's own Alan Dale, plays General Ross, who gives Indiana Jones' innocence to the FBI agents. Alan Dale's also in Lost and a bunch of other things. He's a big character actor.
Also, randomly, I can confirm Fate of Atlantis and The Emperor's Tomb are part of the same 4-game collection.
I thought so. Another tetralogy. What are the other two?
Fate of Atlantis, Last Crusade.
What?
Yep. Emperor's
I thought
Tomb.
we already had The Last Crusade.
Well, you got it in a.
It's an adaptation, is it?
Nice point and click. Apparently, at some point.
Is it a new plot?
Harrison Ford's in a boxing ring at some point.
Oh, that didn't happen in the film.
No, it did happen in the film. But it's also got a silver and purple shield, and he looks like he's in a coffin.
Okay.
There wasn't in a coffin. It was the other one that was in the coffin, not the one that stayed. And then you've got Emperor's Tomb, and then you've got the Infernal Machine.
The Infernal Machine. What is he fighting? Mecha Godzilla? What's this?
1940s. The Nazis.
The Nazis are the back.
I've been crushed. The Cold War has begun, and Soviet agents are sniffing around the ruins of a fabled Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel. Ah.
CIA recruits for now archaeologists
Henry
and Jones to find out. Okay, fair enough.
That sounds cool.
It does. A little bit Aztec-y.
Yeah, a bit Aztec-y. I like the Tower of Babel. That's a cool story. We've got a bunch of Russian dudes in this. We've got some fire ants. Do you like the sequence with the fire ants?
True.
There was a bit of a lack of, I don't want to say the Indiana Jones gore, but like the Indiana Jones kind of, something bad happens to someone.
Yeah.
Like, the Nazis get all burned by the Ark. Their faces all come off.
Yeah, well,
Last Crusade.
The same thing happens. Guy
Temple
gets
of Doom,
old.
you fall into the fiery pit and it burns.
Yeah.
A jet engine goes off in this film and it burns 4 Soviet soldiers and they just kind of fall over on fire.
Yeah.
You could have done something with that.
Yeah.
Iriana Spalko just kind of turns into dust.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lack of like...
The fire ants going in that guy's mouth was cool.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. And all the fire ants kind of covering him and kind of dragging him away. But I've saw concept art, and you might be able to find this.
I'll have a look.
Of Iriana Spalko, when she's on that rope trying to climb up, right? The ants, there was concept art of this. The ants climb up the rope after her, and they like go all over her face and like burn her face, half of her face.
Let's have a little look. See.
You might be able to find this somewhere. And then it gets worse and worse. It progresses through the film.
I've got
give her like a
I've got concept art of what her face would look like.
Right. What do you think? Obviously, they didn't go with it. This was the band.
No, they didn't go with it.
But apparently, Kate Blanchett was very into it, as she would be.
I mean, yeah,
she was very into it and wanted it to happen, but it didn't. What do you think of that? That would have been cool for her.
Yeah, it just adds a bit of something, doesn't it? A little bit of progress, a little bit of progression.
Yeah, and also, I'm going to make a point here.
Go on.
Indiana Jones, not known for its great villains. Obviously, can you tell me who's the villain in the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Technically it's the Nazis, but also technically it's...
What's his name, though?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I can't tell you.
The only person I can tell you is Belloc, but he's not even really the villain, is he? He's just kind of a side character.
Well, yeah.
Right, Temple of Doom, right? What's the bad guy's name?
Smith.
I don't think it is. I can tell you he's a thuggy priest, but that's only because that's a religion's name. That's not his name.
Yeah.
And then I go Last Crusade. What's the bad guy? I don't even remember what the bad guy's name. Wait, no, I do actually. Walter Donovan.
There you go.
Only because he's played by Julian Glover, and this is my point. Because you get a recognisable actor, cast him in a big villain role.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett, Iriana Sparko. We're gonna do Dial of Destiny, you know.
Yes.
And who's that? Mads Mikkelsen,
Yeah.
a recognisable actor named villain. That's what Indiana Jones needs to do. It needs to become, I don't want to keep referencing this, but it needs to become like James Bond, where you get the adventurer against the antagonist.
Yeah.
That way, it's not just like random Nazi number 4 or whoever we got in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's like a weird version of Mambo number 5. Nazi number 4.
I don't want a song about that. I don't want a bit of random Nazi number 4 in my life. Let's talk a bit about
Go on.
the bit of the development of this film.
Okay.
Just for a minute before we give it our ratings.
Correct.
Do you want to know some of the titles of this film? What this film is going to be called?
Of Crystal, as in when they had the idea for Crystal Skull. So we're not talking like the Haunted Mansion or whatever.
There was a script in 2005, November 2005. Indiana Jones and the Atomic Ants. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, but that implies he's searching for the ants.
Well, that implies that the ants have nuclear power. There are ants in the film.
There are ants in the film.
And there is a nuke, so maybe there's a bit of thread there. Indiana Jones and the Destroyer of Worlds. Based on, obviously, the famous Oppenheimer quote, which is referenced in this film. Again, there's a thread, you see. What do you think of that? That sounds cool. I'd watch Indiana Jones and the Destroyer of Worlds.
That does sound cool.
Better than the Atomic Ants. Right. George Lucas apparently insisted on there being a kingdom involved in it.
Yep.
There was a title which was Indiana Jones and the Son of Indiana Jones.
Oh my god.
That's
not great.
Not great. No, not great.
Yeah.
That sounds worse. That sounds worse than the Young Indie Chronicles or whatever it was called. And it was settled on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yep.
Later in 2005, 2006, which is all good.
Yes.
It was shot. The Amazon jungle was filmed in Hawaii. Always good to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. True.
The Brazil shots with Argentina's I'm trying not to butcher this. Iguazu Falls.
Okay.
It's like iguana, but maybe it's Iguazu Falls.
Okay.
And there was, of course, shooting done in on sound stages in Los Angeles at Downey, Sony, Warner Brothers, Paramount, and Universal.
Yep.
Let's give this a bit of a real rating.
Yeah.
What do you consider for this? Got some good music. John Williams behind the music.
Yeah. So I'm in pretty much agreement of this.
We've had 2 prequels by this point. We've had Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Great digital shooting, great special effects, still holding up to this day. Whereas, for some weird reason, the swing through monkeys and sword fighting on a truck bit looks a bit phony to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I can look at the Star Wars prequels and go, yeah, that really holds up. That looks great. And then look at this and go,
it's
bit naff.
Probably something to do with because it's sci-fi, it's not real, so it can look a bit janky and get away with it. Whereas that should look real because it's real life. But no, I'm in the whole thing of this isn't necessarily awful, but in terms of Indiana Jones, it's not great. So I'm going to give it roughly about a 6.
I was going to give it a 5.
Okay.
Because you've given it a 6. No, I'm going to stick with that.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with a 5. Or maybe a 5.5.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5.5.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine, really. And again, our point is that we on The Real Show, we don't really like to overly hate unless it's incredulously bad. But I can see there's effort here. I can see that there's good acting here.
Yep.
Ray Winston, Harrison Ford, Kate Blanchett, Karen. I didn't even mention Karen Allen, Marion Ravenwood, John Hurt, Jim Broadbent. Great people. And obviously George Lucas and Steven Spielberg wanted to do another one, if not, maybe a bit for the money, but
Yeah.
And there's good ideas in this. The world of Indiana Jones is greatly expanded, which is nice. And there's more potential for more sort of jumping off points, not for more films, But by all means, more video games. Infernal Machine or whatever. Emperor of the Tomb. That kind of thing. That sounds great, because Indiana Jones is built for that kind of... the more video gamey, graphic novel-y type world. Or maybe a film or like a spin-off show or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me thinking in cinematic universes, because everything's a cinematic universe now.
Correct.
The weekly rec.
Okay.
Corey. I'm looking forward to this.
Don't.
Should I not look forward to it?
This is probably the furthest stretch I've
Okay.
I've
Well,
done.
give me it then. Give it to me.
Okay. Or, because fun fact, people, like we mentioned before, we're doing Dial of Destiny as well at some point.
We are, yes. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to do Dial of Destiny.
So actually, that's going to be my Dial of Destiny rec because they're interchangeable at this point.
Right. Well, which one would
So-
best suit?
Okay. We've talked a lot. Okay, this one's easy. Right, cool. So we've spoken a lot today about Indiana Jones's fantastic video game adventures,
Yes, we have.
including not Battle for Atlantis. What was it again?
Fate of Atlantis.
That's the one. So I'm going to go down that route just
Okay.
for a little bit. And obviously I'm recommending House Rules, No Wars Barred.
Yep.
And I'm recommending Battleship,
Oh, okay.
but drink a shot every turn.
Well, that's not technically, because you could say there might be Soviet battleships, like Iriana Spalko. There you go.
That's definitely what it was. Battleship, everyone's favourite
Is there a
board game.
battleship in this in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
don't
There's a battle. There are battles, you could say. There aren't any ships though, I don't think.
No, Shia LaBeouf might go on a battleship.
Oh, yes, he might go on a battle.
Later in
God,
life.
that's so dark. Why did you bring that up? Because we've both seen Dial of Destiny by
Yeah, I
now.
know.
Spoilers for what happens in Dial of Destiny. He might be on a battleship, Corey, but he's not making it off that battleship. No.
No, he's not.
Okay, so take a shot every turn with battleship.
Yes.
So you have to sink. You sunk my battleship.
Yep.
You have to sink the opponent's battleship. But Adam Blampied, Sullivan Bow Brown are down in nice. Is it that blue? Is that when they're drinking that blue shot?
They've
or
got
whatever?
blue and red, yeah.
Blue and red, yeah. And Terry, shout out to you, Terry. We need our own Terry.
Say that
We
every
don't really
time.
have a Terry.
No, we don't.
The camera is our Terry, but we don't have anyone behind the
camera is
camera
our Terry.
to be Terry. I love Terry. Terry's great.
Terry's fantastic.
More justice for Terry is
Yeah.
what I'm going to say. Justice for Terry. And what will you give that? Battleship, but to shot every turn. I was going to say we should do that, but neither of us drink.
I don't drink that much.
You do. You don't drink that much.
Yeah. I don't drink like
Only on special occasions.
30
You've
shots
not
of,
got
like,
liver failure,
Kahlua
it's
or
fine,
something.
Corey.
yeah.
You've not got jaundice. You're all right.
Yeah. I can't even think of a pun with a name. You can't really fit a number into Battleship.
What's the highest number you get in Battleship? It's 8, isn't it? Because there's the longboat. You're gonna have to search. We're gonna have to check this.
What's the longest boat?
The longboat, I think, in India, it's the longboat in Battleship. It's the cruiser. It's the battle carrier.
Yeah. Which is
That's 8, isn't it? It's 8 little dots.
Battleship board game. I'm just getting actual battleships.
Okay. Yeah, the actual battleships. What is the longest battleship ever made?
According to this, it's Battleship Missouri.
Missouri. Oh, cool.
Apparently. Maybe I don't know.
Sounds
What
like
are
an
ship
American
sizes in Battleship?
American battleship.
Carrier is 5.
Okay.
It's 5, 4, 3, 3, 2.
Okay, 5 then. So the highest you can give it is they give it more than 5, surely.
I'll pair it with a cruiser,
Right.
so it makes it 8.
8. Okay.
I'll put them in a row, right next to each other.
Okay.
That's what I
Give
did.
it an 8.
Yeah, so we're gonna get an 8.
So that is an 8 for the No Rose Barred battleship. Where can they find that? On the No Rose Barred
It's on YouTube.
YouTube channel?
On the YouTube channel.
Sounds great. Thank you very much for watching the review of Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Would you like to go to the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
No.
Neither would I. Well, you can't because it's destroyed, can you?
Yeah. Actually, apparently it's for Seawise Giant.
What?
It's the longest battleship.
Oh, right, okay. The Seawise... Wait, you want to go to the Seawise Giant? Can we even go there?
I don't know. You can go to the Missouri Memorial
Oh, right, okay.
battleship. I don't know if you can go to the
Who
Seawise
made
Giant.
the Seawise Giant?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to.
I don't wanna guess.
I don't know what happened to the Seawise Giant.
Oh.
History. Name. Seawise Giant, 1979 to 19. It was Happy Giant.
Okay.
Jar Viking.
Okay.
Knock Nevis.
All
And then
right.
Mont.
That's a lot of names for a ship.
Yeah, I know, right?
What happened to it?
Out of service. I think it ended in 2010.
No, well, where is it? Can we
What
find it?
happened? Knock Nevis was renamed Mont for the final voyage to India.
Ah.
She was scrapped at Alang by
Okay.
Prior Blue Industries. The vessel was breached on 22 December 2009. Due to the length and size of the vessel, scrapping only finished at the end of 2010, so it's scrapped.
Oh, it's got. Oh, dang.
It's turned to scrap.
No longer exists.
No longer is this.
That's him. All right. You rest in peace. Rest in peace, Sea-Wise Giant.
Correct.
Gone before your time. Thank you for listening to our review of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. We're going to come at you with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in a
Correct.
couple of weeks. We're going to do a little anniversary show
We
next
are.
week with a special review. But after that, we're going to do Dial of Destiny. I'm very excited. Very excited for that, Corey. And after that, we're going to do a little bit more Indiana Jones as well.
Yes,
a little
we
bit
are.
more bang for your buck on Indiana Jones. Very happy for that as well. But it's coming up soon. Stay tuned. Thank you very much. It's a goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.